You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
We are recording on Christmas Day. And I really want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. But the 26-20 defeat the Miami Dolphins suffered to the Green Bay Packers. If you're a Dolphins fan, if you're someone who supports the Dolphins and gave up any part of your Christmas to watch that game, I think it's fair to say that even with the best will in the world, your Christmas is, I'm not going to say ruined, but it's not the same. So before I hand it over to you, for those who don't know, I'm a dad. My son is 7. He lives with his mum. And this was the first Christmas where I got him, Christmas morning. Woke up with him, done the whole Santa thing. And when he was leaving, he hugged me and said that was the best Christmas ever. And I was like, I wanted to carry that into the Dolphins. And Mr. Charlie Touche, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Merry Christmas, Kadeem.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, man.
Listen. Hey, that's priceless. Your son said this is the best Christmas ever, bro. That's it. You won already. Listen, as I get situated, shout out to my brother for coming with the new Christmas drip. Appreciate that. I see you with the ugly sweater. We're gonna do it like this though. We gotta address the game. Dolphins lose to the Green Bay Packers in week 16, 26-20. Yeah, it's week 16.
Yeah,
and it's looking bad. All we had to do was win against the Packers and win one of the 2 games remaining, and you're locked into the playoffs. Of course, you would like to win all 3 and then hopefully end up with a 6th or 5th seed, but that's not where we are right now. And Kadeem, it's time. I want to preface all of my comments, every single one of them, by saying what I am about to say is not directed to no one, not one specific person. This is not a shot at anyone. This is not sneak dissing. I think people know me well enough to know, I know Charles ain't going, he's not talking about me. He would just tell me if he was talking about me. You're right. I'm not talking about you. This is just in general because we're Dolphin fans. That is it. So there's so many people that I'm pretty sure it can encompass everyone who feels some type of way. Whether it's people on Twitter, Dolphins Twitter, Dolphin fans. I got people in my group chat. Me and you are in a group chat, and I don't want anyone to think it's for them in particular. I got friends in my phone, social media friends, you know what I'm saying? People I never met on social media. So this is not a shot at anyone. It's not a dig. It's not nothing. This is, and I wanted to say that so no one feels some type of way. But if you do feel some type of way, come holler at us on Go Time Dolphins. Like, at least make it entertaining for a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Don't come take shots at me on my phone. Let's just do it over the internet. But listen, let's do it on the podcast. Listen, not a shot at nobody, honestly. Oh, GTD affiliates as well, because we have GTD affiliates that rock with us that may feel some type of way about our quarterback or our team or our coaches or whatever. And that's perfect for me to say this now. Shout out to Sherrod Steve. And I'm going to tell you why. Everyone knows I met Sherrod Steve relatively, I don't know, like literally in the past 3 years. Just met him. We're good friends. Not great friends. We know each other. We're pretty good friends. And the Dolphins brought us together. And this is why I rock with Sherrod Steve so good. And I'm gonna disclose some things that Sherrod Steve has no idea I'm about to do. So Sherrod Steve, I know you listening. What up, bro? Merry Christmas. But I'm gonna say this. When I met Sherrod Steve, it was prior to the 2020 NFL draft when we selected Tua Tagovailoa Tagovailoa. And Sherrod Steve said he wanted Joe Burrow. I said I wanted Tua. Sherrod Steve also on this podcast said, I'll trade five first-round picks for Joe Burrow. I said, you can do that in your dreams. I'm not doing it. How about this, though? Along the way, the past 3 years, me and Sherrod Steve will text each other. How you doing? Dolphin stuff, non-Dolphin stuff, sports stuff, non-sports stuff. Dude is a cool person. I'm not even going to lie to you. And again, he has no idea that I was about to do this. I honestly didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to share some stuff with you. This season, we had the quarterback rankings in the offseason, right? And it was a fun, heated discussion, right? Oh, look at these guys going at about their quarterbacks. And it was really that. That's all it was. It was just really, really fun, and we had a difference in opinion. But the 2022 Miami Dolphins season started this year, and no one knew what we would get. Everyone has their season predictions. Everyone has their bets. Everyone has, we can't wait to see what we get. Dolphins come in. We played the Bills, played Baltimore. Tua gets hurt against Cincinnati, right? I want to be very, very, very fair. Sherrod Steve always said, when I say always, it was when he made this decision, he never wavered. Sherrod Steve said, basically, Tua ain't it. And I rock with Sherrod Steve for that because that's what he went with and he stuck to it. And, I hope I'm wrong. And I hope he proves me wrong. And then, GTD's like, in my opinion, Sherrod Steve, Tua is it. And he is going to get us that ring by 2024. And we will have a championship in his first rookie contract. And Sherrod Steve will say, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're celebrating and I could just be like, I'm wrong. That's what Sherrod Steve would say. That is why I wanted to give Sherrod Steve his flowers on this particular episode. Because Tua was an MVP candidate this year. Lights out kind of ball, beat Baltimore, beat Buffalo, answered all kind of questions, all kind of stuff. But we didn't win anything yet, all right? And Sherrod Steve never said anything. Never was in my phone during the good games, during the bad games. Never. Never in my phone like, I don't know, bro, I don't think Tua's it. Or, dang, bro, Tua looks good. Or, see, this is why I don't rock with Tua. Sherrod Steve never hit my phone on that. And flip side is, I never hit Sherrod Steve on that either. Never hit Sherrod Steve with boy, we got an MVP on our hands. What I told you about Tua. Never said none of that. And it was I don't know why. I don't know if it was some like subliminal back in my head. Like, I'm not that person. I don't know what Sherrod Steve was thinking or not thinking. We just never was in each other's phones during these games going after each other about what we thought about Tua. It's never happened. Shout out to Sherrod Steve for that. I say all of that to say this. There's one more person that is very similar to Sherrod Steve. Is actually my brother. He hasn't come on this podcast yet, right? He played football. Will Hayes, former teammate, you know what I'm saying? And he's always said Tua is not it. And he stuck to it. And it's the I told you so too. It's hard for me. Like, actually, you know what I'm saying? We're doing Christmas together this year. So it's hard for me to be around my brother and we go at it. So him and Sherrod Steve are the only two people who get this credit because they stayed with that take. Just like me staying with the Tua is it take. Now I get to say what I want to say. Kadeem, from this day, December 25th, 2022, Charlie Touche will no longer have any filter for anyone who is on the fence about Tua. Either Tua is it for you or he is not it for you. That is it. Either you like him or you don't. Either you rock with him or you don't. That's cool, bro. It's okay to say Tua's not it. It's okay. I don't believe that. I think he's the franchise. I think he's going to win the MVP. A MVP. Multiple MVPs. Not this year, but I think it's going to happen. I still think he's going to bring us that ring. And matter of fact, Kadeem, we're on the trajectory to get for Touche's prediction to come through. I said 2024. We're right there. We're right here. So the reason I say that, Kadeem, and I know I'm going long, but I appreciate you for rocking with me. Reason I say that, Kadeem, is because Dolphins, Twitter, and Dolphin fans, there's no other fan base that will throw their quarterback through the mud the way the Miami Dolphins fan base throws their quarterback through the mud. No other quarterback. No other fan base. All right, so here we go. From now on, when I'm disputing with somebody on the podcast or off the podcast, it's going to be so, do you rock with Tua or you don't? Do you believe in Tua or do you not? Is he it or is he not it? No more riding the fence so you can say, oh, I never said that about Tua. Oh, I never said he wasn't it. Nah, bro, you never said he was it either. So no more being able to wait it out to see if he's it or not. Either you believe in him or you don't. You got the floor, Kadeem.
I can't disagree with what you said, with what you just said, but I can see why people fluctuate. And I think that's a really good word, fluctuate. You often say that, is it the Miami Dolphins and, fans' lack of relationship? If anyone has ever been in a relationship, your current girlfriend is the love of your life, your future wife, until she's not. Until she's the worst person in the whole entire world. I can't believe I ever loved her. What does I ever see in her? And with the Dolphins fan base and Tua, when he's good, he's brilliant. Best quarterback. He's it. He's the answer. I knew it. I told you so. And when he's not it, he's the worst quarterback. Why do you ever take him? What are we doing? And to bring it full circle back to the Packers game, that first half was Tua's it. We fixed the slump. We're all good. That second half, and especially that fourth quarter, I told you the choke artist. Told you can't win games in December. There's no. We said this weeks ago. There's no nuance to the Tua argument. What I will say is any slander directed towards Tua after today, any slander directed at Tua based on today's game and that second half performance is justified, because you can't. Me and you will sit here, Dolphin fans will sit here, and when Justin Herbert throws a four-quarter interception and the game is done, we'll go choke artist. How many and again, it's justified to do that. We've sat here on this podcast and gone, when Tua throws an interception, the next drive, touchdown, ice in his veins, Tua's money. And against the Packers in the fourth quarter, he wasn't. He really wasn't. You can.
That's the point, Kadeem. That is the point that I'm trying to make right there, what you just said. When Justin Herbert throws a pick in the fourth quarter or a pick six with the game on the line, and you just said it's justified, it's because there's evidence to this is what he is, this is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying Justin Herbert's a bad quarterback because everybody makes me makes it to where Charlie Touche has to say Herbert is better than Tua or he's trash or he's not. Like, no, you know what? Why we here? Let's address this why we here. Burrow, Herbert, Josh Allen, Tua, and I'll just throw in Jalen Hurts just because. Those 5 quarterbacks. The way the NFL is set up, the way entertainment is set up, we always need who's next. They always try to dress up the who's the next. Oh, we had Manning and 12 and Breeze and say what?
Big Ben.
You know what I'm saying? We had Rivers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We had like, oh, these are the elites of the league. Now this is the new generation. We got Mahomes. Oh, my fault. I left out Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is in that other conversation. The Bradys, the Mannings, and I said 12's name. The Rodgers, you know what I'm saying? He's in that conversation. And then they have to make it, well, who's next? Oh, we got Mahomes versus Burrow, and look at Josh Allen now. This is the new class. I want to put my take out there so everyone can hear it. Outside of Patrick Mahomes is it. All right. When it comes to Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua, and Jalen Hurts, those 5 quarterbacks are not in the conversation of Peyton Manning, bro, 12, and Aaron Rodgers. They're not in the same conversation. The world tries to make this conversation so they could entertain us. But realistically, none of those 5 quarterbacks are in that conversation. Now, they may be in the upper echelon of today's league, which is, yeah, let's debate that. Who's the better of today's quarterback, but not who's the next Manning, who's the next Breeze or whatever. Actually, I still think Tua is better than Breeze, but we're going to get there later. But I said all that to say this, Kadeem, about your point. Herbert has done it before where he throws the picks. He throws the pick 6. My thing is, Tua was never a turnover machine. He's never been a turnover machine the way people make it seem as if he's been this quote unquote turn the ball over. You know, they got the joke. He's never been that ever. So it's never been justified. So when it does happen, like today, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm not defending nothing that happened today. I'm like, oh, yo, Tua had it. Tua had it to where, yo, you could change the narrative today. You had a bad half, not a bad game. You had a bad half today, and you know the way it looked, it wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't all on Tua because everybody, oh, you making this? No, it's not excuses. But at the end of the day, nothing helped. But Tua didn't help himself. So when you have the ball back with 1 drive left, change it up right here. You could go win the game. No one's gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
So very quickly, because
my bad, Kadeem. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you right now. So my thing is, when everyone says, "Oh, look at the past 4 games," my thing is, yo, y'all saying what y'all said the past 4 games, even when he was the MVP candidate. You know what I'm saying? Even before that. So it's like y'all always say the same thing. So even when he disproves it, y'all just say, "Oh, I told you so." Now, what do you mean? You told us so. He's never been a turnover machine. So when he throws 3 picks in 1 game, don't say I told you so. It's never happened before. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
So one thing I would say, you got me this for Christmas. Like, I'm a Tua guy. I am. Like, I'm not going to try and sit here and say I'm not. When you say Tua's not a turnover machine, he's not. I think prior to today, he had something like, he's had 5 in the season, but he had 2 within the last 5-6 weeks. And I'll say it now, so I'll play Tua as a turnover machine, is when it comes down to clutch games in December, games in cold weather, Tua wets the bed. And when he gets 1 turnover, he gets 2, he gets 3. Or the game, when he gets 1 incompletion, he gets 4, 5, 6, 7. And the evidence is those 2 games, the Buffalo game and the Tennessee game. My counter to that when people say Tua doesn't play or doesn't win in December, Tua's not clutch, is prior to that Buffalo game and that Tennessee game, Miami were in a situation where they couldn't lose. You lose one game, playoffs are done. Finito. Like, there's no postseason. Tua and the Dolphins won enough games in a row to get to a point where if you win this game, the destiny is in your hands. If Miami had beaten Tennessee, they go into the final game against the Patriots, where if they win, they're in. And they stunk out the place. Tua had a bad game, probably his worst game in the NFL. And that Buffalo game was when Tua didn't turn the ball over and then threw how many picks that game. And we can sit here and say that one of them was a pick six, the throw to Devontae Parker, and Devontae Parker slips. That's not on Tua, but it's an interception, pick six. The second interception today to Raheem Mostert, on my life, Tua dropped back, and I was standing, so I'm watching it with my dad. I'm saying to my dad, turn around, turn around, turn around. And I couldn't even see who the receiver was. But the moment the ball left Tua's hand, I was like, the receiver hasn't turned around. And he didn't. And I think even Mike McDaniel said, of the 3 interceptions, one of them was a miscommunication. That Raheem, Tua must have thought he was running a curl or a comeback, probably a curl. Raheem Mostert is running, whatever he's running, it's a miscommunication.
For production purposes, I'll elaborate on what you're saying, Kadeem. So Raheem Mostert is lined up on the line, and I want to say it's the fourth quarter, maybe late third. I believe it's the fourth quarter.
It's the fourth. All 3 interceptions.
It's getting really real right now. And Raheem Mostert's on the line, and he's not even looking. Like, the play didn't start yet. He wasn't even ready for the play to start. And the ball is snapped. And then he's like, oh, the ball is snapped. And then he runs his route. Not only so now was the play thrown off because he was late getting off the line, but he also, there's a miscommunication there, ran the wrong route, what it looks like. It looks like he ran it deeper than what Tua thought he was going to be at. So this, in essence, is a timing route where if you get bumped off the time, or if you run the wrong route, or if you don't get your head around in time, the ball is always going to be there because it has to be on what? On time. Hence, timing route. So Raheem Mostert doesn't turn around and the ball is there, but Raheem Mostert isn't there and it gets picked off. So that's what happens. That's always going to happen on the timing route. And I'll get back to you, Kadeem. I just wanted to throw that in.
It's cool. And hopefully there'll be a video, you would have seen the interception. So I started ages ago saying, I'm not saying, but my point was not all the time, but I don't know if it's a habit, but it's a worrying trend that in certain situations, Tua throws 1 interception and 1 becomes 2, and today 2 couldn't become 3. And it's interesting because, Kadeko, who gets the ball back, so Kadeko, who picks off Aaron Rodgers, Miami get the ball. First play, Tua sells it, interception to Jay Alexander. Not ideal. Packers score a field goal, go up 3. Cool. Dolphins got the ball again. Start getting the drive going. We just discussed the Raheem Mostert interception. Packers get the ball back, drive down the field. Dolphins defense gets a stop, field goal, up by 6. 2-minute warning. And what's interesting is watching on TV, I watched it on TV, Tua standing there, helmet on, and he's got a mean face, as in like, cool, I'm ready. You're on mute.
Yeah, I think every Tua believer, if you follow Tua, you know what you just alluded to. Like, oh, he throws a pick, we're gonna be straight the next drive. Yeah. And here I am watching it like, oh, we're gonna be straight. And you get to write your own story. This is it. You get to do what Aaron Rodgers does to so many people. Continue.
So Tua's there, and then friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, is like, slapping him on his chest, kind of. I assume the words are, "Oos, your time. Go do this now." I'm watching it on the broadcast. I'm watching. They're talking. They literally say, Tua's had 2 interceptions. Now is your time to go and show the NFL world why you belong on this stage. And, I'm on social media and everyone's saying no one's going to care about the 2 interceptions if you drive down the field and score a touchdown. First throw, completion, I'm like, cool. We didn't try to go deep straight away. We have no time up, but we've got 2 minutes to drive down the field and score a touchdown. Second throw to Mike Gesicki, interception, game done. And it's just like...
Which, in my opinion, was the realest. He had an overthrow pick, which I felt like that was on him. And then this one was the first time in my... I want to say... First time I've seen Tua ever get tricked by a defense.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen him get tricked by a defense. And that's why, do I want to lose, Kadeem? Absolutely not, bro. But I still see the games through the eyes of, okay, yeah, you got beat that time. You can't win them all. Tua got beat on that play. There is no doubt about it. So my thing is, Kadeem, again, it's not that he got beat on that play. It's not that he threw 3 picks this game. It's that people make it seem like he wasn't the quarterback in week 2 or week 3 or week 4 when we beat Buffalo. When we came back against Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? Or any of these other games that made him Tua just threw 3 touchdowns in 3 games. You know what I'm saying? Or 3 back-to-back games. Like, they make it seem like that's never happened. And he's always, bro, you know what I heard today, Kadeem? I gotta say this. Someone called Tua Jeremy Lin. Like, Jeremy Lin was just a little run, and he reverted back to who he really is. Like, Tua's not, this is not really Tua. He's just playing well, and he's gonna revert to trash. Like, what? Jeremy Lin? That's what you think Tua is? You know what I'm saying? So when Jalen Hurts got AJ Brown, and now he's Jalen Hurts, or when Josh Allen got Diggs and turned into Josh Allen, now Tua gets his weapons and he turns into this MVP looking stud. He can't have a bad game. That's my whole point. When hold on. I don't want to say a bad game, but he can't. Why? My thing is, how come there's grace for every other quarterback in the league, but no grace for Tua at all? It's like, nah, bro, you don't get no grace. You're not it. You know what I'm saying? As if he didn't ball before. You know what I'm saying?
I think part of it is in Tua's situation, and again, there's always context, there's always nuance. But if you're looking at code light of day, facts on paper, it's his first season. You can talk about who he had previous years, doesn't matter now. Third season, you've got Jalen Waddle, got Tyreek Hill, got a genius of an offensive mind for a head coach. What you can't do is be 8-3 with the 1 seed to 8-7, and in those 4 games, I don't want to say you put up a fight in one of them, but the 49ers game stunk. As a team, that game stunk. The Chargers game stunk. As a team, stunk. Mm-hmm. The Bills game was the one where everyone was like, okay, cold weather, snow, Tua put up a fight, and he lost. That's going to happen.
And let's stop right there. That's my point.
Well, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm saying, of those 4 games, you can't only have one of them where everyone goes, kid, you did good. And you was unlucky to lose.
Hold on, why of those 4 games though? Because you lost?
Because you lost. And I started with saying you can't go 8-3, you can't be 8-3,
okay,
and then go to 8-7. And I'm not. When I say you can't, we can look at the context, all that kind of stuff. But your haters, be it in the fan base and the rest of the media, are going to go, you're meant to kick on. You're meant to keep, like, you're going to lose games, but the way you lose the game should be the Buffalo way. It shouldn't be stinking up the place. If that makes sense.
Okay, that's okay. But do you feel like he stunk up the place today?
No. And
that's my sense. So in essence, he stunk up the place against the Chargers and San Fran.
Yeah.
So it's again, 2 of the 4 games.
It's 2 of the 4 games, and he had a good. The first half was good.
Mm-hmm.
And again, what you can't do is you can't throw 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter, especially when we can sit here and trash Josh Boyer, the defense, all that kind of stuff. When the defense essentially gives you 2 opportunities to go down the field and win, or retake the lead, you
I
can't throw
agree with you,
interceptions.
bro. I didn't say you could.
No,
Like, I agree 100% with that.
But so when I say you can't do that, what that leads to is people going, well, he's not it. And for whatever reason, for reasons which we might get into in the off season, or we just generally won't understand, is that we can't put. I guess I'm not answering your question. I'm just kind of talking. Is that we can't put a finger on why Tua doesn't get the grace, for lack of a better term. And maybe it's because those other guys, I guess, don't stink or don't put up performances like that, which is interesting.
Hold on, what do you mean like that? Because people do put up performances like that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And hold up. And to be fair, they put up more performances like that more often than he does. That's my point.
I was just going to say, prime example, Justin Herbert had 2 interceptions, no touchdowns the other week, but the Chargers won.
Hold on. No, you said people don't put up other performances like that, and I said they do, and they do it more often than he does. So that's my point of he doesn't get the grace. Here's what I need, and this is the SOS. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I need all of our Go Time Dolphins affiliates, all of our GTD fans and friends, and Sherrod Steves and Same Old Dolphins and DraftKings Jason and Dolphin UK, so many. I'm sorry if I left you out, but I need someone. I need someone to come on the podcast and have an actual conversation, not a finger pointing contest, not an argument, an actual conversation where we can articulate what is being said. Because here's my thing, Kadeem. I'm gonna give you some stats. And you tell me who this quarterback is. You'll probably get it because you have a podcast. You're an above average fan. But we're going to run through some stats really quick. 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 75% 75 passer rating. 205 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. 46.8 passer rating. 330 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 78 passer rating, 1 touchdown, no picks, 197 yards, 100.4 passer rating, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 80.8 passer rating, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, 100.6 passer rating, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, 86.5 passer rating, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 119 passer rating, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 71 passer rating. Do you know who this quarterback is?
For a second, I thought it was Josh Allen, but then it lost me. The 4 touchdowns threw me.
You're right. It's crazy, right? What did you think of those stats, though? In the whole, that was 9 games. So I know it kind of run long for entertainment. Probably should have shortened it up for podcast purposes. But all in all, what did you think about those stats?
Was that Mahomes?
What did you think about the stats, bro?
No, because I'm going. It's a fairly good quarterback. I heard more touchdowns than interceptions. I heard the odd bad game, but you get a 4 touchdown game and you go
right. And I'm so glad you ended right there because you got this quarterback that had 4 2-interception games, 147 yards passing, 197 yards passing, 1 touchdown. What is this? 200 yards passing, 2 picks. But then this person put up 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Unfortunately for us, he did it against the Dolphins, and that was Josh Allen. So these numbers don't jump off the paper like, yo, this boy is a Pro Bowler. Oh, this boy is the 2nd best quarterback in the league. These numbers don't say that. You know what I'm saying? But I promise you, Kadeem, when Joe Burrow has a 6 turnover game, or he struggles in the beginning of the season, or Josh Allen ain't never won nothing, or Josh Allen has an MVP type season, and no one comes up with the stat of, oh, but how many would-be interceptions did he almost throw? Turns out he led the league when he did that. No one says nothing until Tua has a MVP type season, and they make up a statistics. Oh, but he has a lot of would-be interceptions. Turns out Mahomes had the most would-be interceptions when he won MVP, and Josh Allen had the most would-be interceptions when he almost won MVP. So that puts Tua in good company. All I'm saying is when quarterbacks have like mediocre games and throws 9 picks here, and I think that was about 9 picks, no one says nothing, dog. Like it's like, yo, the grace is there. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is I'm not saying Tua is excused from these bad games. I'm saying that's cool that yes, he had a bad game, but everyone makes it seem like he has more bad games than good games. Like, it's the wildest thing to me. That's all I'm saying.
And someone put on social media, and how true it is or whether everyone debate it, who knows. Again, part of the issue with the Dolphins, not two issue is with the Dolphins, is that if Tua doesn't have a MVP / perfect game, the Dolphins lose. And now some of that could be, and again, I'm not a betting person. I could have bet that heading into this game, the Packers had the 29th worst run defense in the league. The Packers can't stop the run. I could have bet the Dolphins aren't going to run the ball that much because listen, Josh Allen can have those stats, but the Bills find ways to win. Be it they rely on Cook or Singletary, or defense gets a turnover or a pick six or whatever. And you know, when Justin Herbert has a bad game and the Chargers lose, as well, he doesn't have that. Listen, I want to focus on Tua and the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. And again, it's when friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, took off for Tua, must have been 2 weeks ago now. He said, it's my job, the defense's job, to get the ball back, to, you know, score on turnovers, interception, pick six, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not blaming the defense for today. You know, we can sit here and say, why did special teams essentially give the Packers 10 points? So it's the Dolphins. I don't want to say that they don't scout their opponents, but we played like the Texans, like one of the worst run defense in the league. We don't run the ball. We played the Packers today, one of the worst run defense in the league. Don't run the ball. We played the Bengals, who were giving up sacks like they were handing out turkeys on Christmas. We don't sack the Bengals.
They were on pace for 75 sacks on the season, and we only got them once.
So again, we play the Packers, and again, I'm watching the game, and Dolphins go up 3. Back to kick the ball back, and it says Nixon has like 4 50-yard receptions this season, and like 2 in the last 4 games. You hear that? Surely, as the Dolphins coach staff, you know that. What don't you do? You don't kick the ball into the guy's hands. Like, you don't do that.
I didn't understand why Jason Sanders couldn't kick more touchbacks. I don't understand that. I don't know. I don't know if they told him not to, or if he just can't do it. Like that was odd to me.
And again, that's the issue. Like, I'm not absolving Tua from any blame today. Tua himself said, the loss is on me. It's on my shoulders.
Hold up, Kadeem. That's because, well, hold up. First of all right. Quarterbacks get too much credit for when the game is won. A team game is won. They get too much credit for it. And then they get too much blame when a game is lost. That's for sure. Tua was through the most inopportune interceptions you can in a game against Aaron Rodgers and And the whole game, we let these boys stay in the game. It did not help us. Here's my thing, though, Kadeem. Perspective. We just went pillar to post, round for round, blow for blow against the number one team for my dollar in the NFL last week was the Bills. We should have won that game. We would have beaten them twice in one season. We beat them earlier. So 1 week ago, everyone was like, we're not that far off. Everybody was like, we're not that far off. We should have beat the Bills in Buffalo in minus 30-degree weather. We could beat these boys. We should have won that game. And then the next week, we lost to Aaron Rodgers. Tua don't play defense. No excuses for Tua, by the way. I'm just saying, it's like, why is it, oh, we're good, or burn it all down, start all over, Tua ain't it? It can't be that, because no other franchise is like that, bro. No other quarterback gets it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that we got to burn it all down when he was an MVP candidate and he just went pillar to post with the Bills and he beat the Bills earlier this year? That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying he didn't have 2 bad games against San Fran and the Chargers and a bad 4 quarters just now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's still the franchise quarterback. We should rock with him. And the problem is that this fan base is, I don't know what's wrong with this fan base, but all I'm saying is when something like this happens, it's not like, dang, all right, whatever. We'll get it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta go get the next one. It's, hey, I'm done. I'm over. It's over with. Burn it down. New coach, new owner, new this, new that. Like, what are y'all talking about, bro? Like, vibe, relax, chill. Your quarterback, the team lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're good. Why does it have to be the apocalypse now?
I wasn't making that point. Like, the point I was making was, so when I said, you know, I'm not absolving blame from Tua, because Tua said it himself. The overall point I was making is
Tua's supposed to say it though. He's supposed to say
no.
But
Okay, yeah,
even if it wasn't his fault, he's still supposed to say it.
But like, Tua's supposed to say that, but normally I'm like, no, Tua, no, dude, Tua, like, you can't throw 3 interceptions in the 4th quarter and then come out and say, well, defense, but team's like, no, dude, you can't throw that. And again, it's not like the 3 interceptions were the defender slipped, so the wide receiver slipped or hit the wide receiver's hand, hit his chest, and then when someone else like, you know what, Tua, that's not on you. The first one is a fairly clean pocket and an overthrow to Tyreek Hill.
You're making points that I agree with.
No,
but I'm talking about.
But then let me finish up my overall point though. So, because you keep interrupting me, the point I was making was that I'm not absolving any blame from Tua. Tua is right to say the loss is on me. The overall point I'm making is that if we go into these games knowing don't kick the ball into the returner's hands because he's good at returning it. The team can't stop the run, so you run the ball. We get into situations where, I was saying this earlier, if Tua doesn't play MVP perfect football, we lose. Because at the moment, our offense is essentially big plays and we don't sustain drives. Like, we're up 20-10. Let's, up 20-10, going into the second half, let's run the ball. Let's make them tired. We got Wilson back this week. Wilson, Mostert, throwing some Alec Ingold, throwing some sweep to Hill, to Waddle, all that kind of stuff. It's, why is it we feel the need to just endlessly throw the ball? And that doesn't excuse when Tua makes a mistake, but like I said, Tua had to play absolutely perfect football. And again, even last week against Buffalo, we're running the ball really, really well. And we just go, okay, we're done. And it's like, well, no, let's keep running the ball. So that's the overall point I was making. It's that Tua played a role in the loss, and yes, he said it's on me. He's always going to say that. But there's so many instances before we even get to, especially that final interception, even that second interception. That second interception, we're only down 3 points and we've got like 6 minutes left. You can run the ball. Like, we can run the ball with Mostert. And it's like, no, throw, interception. Like,
yeah, that game should have been maybe a 3-score game by the fourth quarter. That way Aaron Rodgers isn't hanging around and allowed to beat Aaron Rodgers, but we didn't get it there. Remember, Kadeem, when we were winning the close games and their naysayers saying, oh, y'all just look how close the game was. It doesn't count. Where they at now when we're losing close games? So these games don't count? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, every game counts. You have to win the close games. It's the NFL, the league with the most parity in the world. Like, yo, you good teams win close games. Take it back to the beginning. No filter. Charlie Touche is here, Holmes. From now on, if I'm going back and forth with someone, I'm just gonna ask a question. So it's Tua the quarterback or not? Like, that's all I want to hear. Do you believe he's the quarterback or don't you? And it's okay if you don't. Just don't have a take where you're hanging around on the fence so you can say a year from now, oh, I never said he wasn't the quarterback, or I never said he was the quarterback. You're like, nah, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it seems like to be every week, honestly. Every week it's Tua a quarterback? Bruh, no quarterback is undefeated, flawless, never threw a pick. Like, it doesn't happen. The best of the best of the best have games like this. Now, what you hope is they're not in consecutive, like how we went streaking, winning streak, losing streak, winning streak. Now we're losing streak again. You don't want it to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to move, man. We're going to get into bonus time, bro. Yeah, tough loss today. No one wants to see it like this, but it's still Christmas, man. Like, it's not the end of the world. We all right. And Charlie Touche said we're going to the playoffs. So we're going to the playoffs. I'm just saying. We're going to get into bonus time, Kadeem. You wanted to say something before we went over?
Oh, I just had some stats, but they come back to bonus time.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time.
What you got for name?
Two things. We said we'll do a Camel Weight giveaway, courtesy of Tom Bolton. We are still doing that. I still do it on Christmas. Next episode, 100 bazillion%. It's still here. I'm just not in a giveaway mood right now. But so if anything, you've still got one more chance. Email gotimedolphins@gmail.com. The subject is weight giveaway, and just send a screenshot of you subscribe to the Dolphins YouTube channel. Second thing, just before bonus time started, you spoke about shouldn't allow Aaron Rodgers to hang around.
Mm-hmm.
And these stats are courtesy of Joe Shad. And it's kind of, the Dolphins are a hang around close teams, that makes sense. So Dolphins have been outscored 370 to 365, difference of 5 points. Dolphins have 304 first downs and opponents have 311 first downs. Dolphins have 43 touchdowns and opponents have 42. It's the Dolphins are just like they hang around, and it's interesting. You said streaks. So if I could try and find a tweet, I will, and I will give credit to that person. I'll ask you this question before I give my answer. Are the Dolphins under McDaniel essentially the same Dolphins we've had for the past, I'll say 3 to 4 years. Yeah, I'll go 3 to 4 years.
What do you mean?
The streaky.
No. Here's my thing. No excuses. I want to be very clear. You're on the field. You're on the team. The general manager has to build a team good enough to sustain, to be able to perform when you take injuries. Want to be very, very clear. This is not an excuse. But you can't lose 5 DBs, bro, in one season and expect to hang around these games. And we're winning these games. We're ahead in these games. We're beating teams during this season. So this team is but this is still the same team I think is the best team the Dolphins have ever had on paper, except half the paper's gone. You know what I'm saying? They're hurt. Like this, it's still the best team on paper. You know what I'm saying? So no, this team is better than this is the best Dolphins team I've ever seen in my adulthood. Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this offense can be the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Brain, same old Dolphins. He said the Dolphins team won't be, I think he said, as deep next year. And I think he I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I know he said it won't be as deep next year. But the way I took that was he doesn't believe it's going to be better next year. And I agree that it's not going to be as deep next year, but it's going to be better than the team that we have this year. Can't go into detail about that, but I do believe we're going to be better next year. And now when you have a new system, the whole team knows the system for 2 years. Look how well we're doing now. You mess around, you win some of these games that you lost. That's the difference. I've said it so many times when the Chargers won 7 games by less than 6 points and they went to the playoffs. And then the very next season, they lost 7 games by less than 6 points. You have to win these games. And not only do you have to win them, you can just win half of them. You win half of the ones that you lost that were this close, and you're still in a better situation. So it has nothing to do with I don't know, but I don't think this team is the same team from the past 4 years.
This team on paper and talent wise is head and shoulders above what we've had. I'm not going to say head and shoulders on offense, 100% yes. On defense, obviously we've lost players due to injury, all that kind of stuff. But to me, this like same way last year we couldn't lose 7 in a row and then try and thing. Yes, we haven't lost 7 in a row. We've lost 4 in a row, but you can't lose 3 in a row. And then like we can't keep on going on losing streaks. Like I know we're going to lose games during the season. I 100% know that, but it can't be 1, 2, 3, if that makes sense. And we're now on a 4-game losing streak after going on a 3-game losing streak earlier in the season. And even with the context, it's still bad.
As much as I want to throw Josh Boyer to the wolves, bro, I really want that, Kadeem. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to throw Josh Boyer to the wolves. I can't say it's because of him, though. I can't. If I'm looking at Kader Kohu, bro, an undrafted gem, the man has come in and been a lifesaver to the DB position for the Miami Dolphins. Doesn't mean that he wasn't undrafted. Keon Crossan is a legitimate special teamer. That is it. When I see Keon Crossan playing against Aaron Rodgers, he's struggling. I'm looking at him like, bruh, I don't know how we're not being abused right now. Then you got Verone McKinley back there, undrafted free agent. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that has to mean something, bro. Like, that's not, you can't win like that. And we've been winning up to this point. So I'm like, yo, it was going to catch us eventually. That's all I'm saying. Something else that I picked up. Hold on. I was about to go somewhere. Was it Josh Boyer? Was it about to get on Josh Boyer? I said I'll get there. I forgot. Anyway, someone just got saved because I forgot what I was going to. I forgot what I was going into.
So then, if you remember, great. But again, like, I'm not blaming Josh Boyer. And again, I would love to have a go at Josh Boyer, but again, especially that fourth quarter where you get an interception and the offense throws one back, and not even from then. from a 94-yard kick return to hold Aaron Rodgers to 3. Yo, great, perfect. And it's like, let me very, very quickly get the stat up, and if anything, this might trigger you to have a go at the special team person, because
No, I remember what I wanted now.
cool,
Go
but
ahead.
very, very, very quickly. It's so this is from GTD friend, King of Finland. 4 of the 6 Packers scoring drives started at midfield or closer. 2 of the 6 Packers scoring drives started in the red zone. How can you give the team, start in our red zone? And again, that's
Aaron
why
Rodgers. Give Aaron Rodgers that.
Yeah. So in those situations, to limit them to 3, and I'm not.
See what I'm saying? That's why you can't. Can you really throw Josh Boyer to the wolves?
No.
We're only limiting them to 3.
No, again, I'm not blaming Josh Boyer, but again, it's Josh Boyer. Like, the defense comes off the field going, we've done our job. Offense, you need to do something. Like, you need to. And what you can't do is just give the ball away needlessly. And again, run the ball. Do something. Be as creative as possible. We keep saying the Dolphins are going to fix this. The Dolphins are going to adjust. We said weeks ago, like the 49ers game, the Chargers game, they weren't must-win games. We are now in must-win games. Like, the cushion you gave yourself early in the season, that is now gone. It is now must-win territory. We'll talk about it over the next few days, but...
Hey, Kadeem hit me for the past 5 weeks. Is this a must-win game? And for 5 weeks, it wasn't a must-win game. And
I didn't think they're must-win games either.
And I know. And now we made it to must-win games. Listen, at the beginning of this game, bro, it was maybe at the first kick, I think Crosby or Jason Sanders, whoever was on the field, maybe. I think it was the opening kickoff. I can't remember. The commentator says, "Oh, we got 2 excellent kickers in this game today." And I was like, dang, the Packers got 2 kickers on their 53-man roster? I'm like, wait a minute.
You know what, yeah? That is Dumb and Dumber. Do you know where the thing is? Yo, I can help you out. That is like, we've got 2 extra kickers. Yo, the Packers have 2 kickers?
That's crazy, bro.
I'm talking about Jason.
No, he said we got 2 excellent kickers in this game, bro. I'm like, I must have missed something. But look. Raheem Mostert fumbled the ball today, right? And he lost the fumble. And here's the thing. This is the same thing. No one's ever going to go at Raheem Mostert for fumbling the ball because he doesn't fumble. You know what I'm saying? And it made me think, Kadeem, how do we run so many RPOs in the past 3 years and we have never, for my dollar that I can remember, lost a fumble in an RPO on all these handoffs? That's crazy to me. That needs to be talked about more. Like, we do not lose fumbles in the quarterback handoff situation, and I think that has been overlooked. And it just dawned on me today. I'm like, dang, I'm surprised with all the RPOs that we would do in the past 3 years that we never lost a handoff. That needs to be commended.
Yeah, guys, Merry Christmas to all of you. Didn't get the dub, but I need to get this off my chest. Love all of you guys. Charlie, I love you. Like, you're my brother from another mother in another country. Like, it's all love over here, man. Merry Christmas.
Hey, I know he's about to sign out. I got to throw this jab at the refs, though. How is it, NFL, National Football League? Shout out to Phil Yates. He tweeted this, that a defensive player can brush the face mask of an offensive player and get a 15-yard personal foul. But if an offensive player grabs the face mask of a defensive player, stiff arms him, and throws him to the ground by his face mask, and you throw the flag, but pick it back up and say, I don't know.
Music.